So I just came inside, guys. Pretty happy. Clutch just showed up. I just got done creating that other video for you, so this is going to be on the next one. But I got pretty happy. My Clutchmaster clutch just showed up, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up real quick just because, well, I'm here and I want to see it. So it looks awesome. I have to see it, so I want to see it. So I need to take everything apart, but here's my throwout bearing, pilot bearing, centering tool, and the clutch itself. It is a 6-puck FX 400 clutch from Clutchmasters. I've been waiting a little bit to get this. Thank you, Miguel, as usual, buddy, for getting it for me. I'm super excited about getting this in and making some actual power finally. So this thing should definitely hook and definitely hold some serious freaking power. Yeah, so I just got to figure out how to assemble this because it doesn't go together the same as most other clutches. The actual throwout bearing is actually built into the clutch somehow. I got to figure out how to shim it and do all that yet because my other clutch was a stock style clutch, so I didn't have to do any of that. This is going to be a little bit different for me, but shouldn't be too hard. So I'd like to make a video about installing it and what I need to do. So I guess I'm going to do some research tonight, and then you guys will see it tomorrow. So let's go ahead and start looking up what we need to do.
Good morning, guys. So this morning here, I showed you there yesterday about the clutch. This morning here, I'm going to go ahead and install the pilot bearing. Now I have 3 pilot bearings here. I'm going to explain why real quick. This is an OEM Toyota one I bought a few years ago and never used. I ended up using another spec one that came with the spec clutch, but I'm going to tell you why I'm going to be using this today. Here's another spec pilot bearing, and here's actually the Clutchmaster's pilot bearing. Now the one thing you could notice kind of right off the bat here is they're all different colors. Now they're obviously probably manufactured by someone else, but the Toyota is a sealed unit. The spec one is a non-sealed unit. If you can kind of see here around the edges, it's technically not a sealed unit even though it is. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but if you technically look here, it's not 100% sealed and dirt and debris gets back in there. Not a big deal per se, but it can cause issues down the road. Now this one is actually made from Clutchmaster, is actually made by the same company that makes the Toyota one, so this one might actually be perfectly fine. It just has a different color to it. It's actually made by whatever Nachi, and I believe this is too. Yes, they're both made by the same exact company. This just happens to be orange and this happens to be blue. I actually took my dial calipers and measured the OD and the ID of each one of these. This is actually has the best fit versus what the crankshaft size is, and this actually had the worst from spec, so that might have been why that caused me a few issues down the road, or from the past years I should say. So I'm going to stick with an OEM Toyota one this time. You can pick this up for a couple bucks, guys. I recommend doing this over using the one that comes with the clutch for your car. Sometimes the throwout bearings too from the manufacturers aren't always the best. I kind of have to use it this time. I don't believe the OEM throwout bearing I'm able to use for this clutch. I might double check that, and if I can use the OEM throwout bearing for an R154, I might go buy that because 9 times out of 10, the aftermarket versions of the throwout bearings tend to fail. And it's not fun to rip apart your whole clutch for a $10, $12 item. So I might look to see if we have an OEM version of that. So I'm going to do the bread trick here this morning. You're probably going to ask me, what is the bread trick? So to give you guys a little rundown of what the bread trick is exactly, you take this little guy here and it's into a blind hole on the crankshaft. Now, since it's a blind hole, first thing off the bat I go, well, how am I supposed to get the old one out? This is going to be a little weird and you're going to think I'm a little strange here, but you can try it 2 ways. You can use bread or you can use like wet piece of paper or something, and you shove it into the center of this hole and keep packing as tight as you can. You then take one of these guys. I have an old one of these. This is what you use for the clutch alignment tool. Cut off the back end here, hammer in the bread through the center. Hammer in the bread through the center of the pilot bearing itself, and it'll force the bread behind it here, pushing the old bearing out. It seems like a very dumb and weird idea, but it actually works, and I've seen it done a couple times. I'm going to try and record it here for you guys so you have an idea of how to do it yourself. It shouldn't be that hard, but I'm going to give it a shot here and try to record it for you. Alright guys, so right here is the pilot bearing itself, which is in the center of the flywheel. Some people prefer to do this before you put the flywheel on. Probably would be a little bit easier, but it's not going to hurt anything because all you're going to do is literally push this out and then press in the new one. If you can see, it's fully exposed and it's not hard to get to. So what I'm going to do is literally take this piece of bread here and shove it in the center of this hole. I'm gonna have to set the GoPro down to do this, and this might take me a little bit just because it's a little timely of a process, but literally shove bread inside the center of the hole here and just keep shoving it full, and then you press it in with the clutch alignment tool here. You use that to press in the center to force the bread through and push out the pilot bearing. So let's see if this works, and let's hope it does work. I'm a little curious to see how well this does work. And there it is. Just popped off, guys. Can you see that? So there it is, guys. Simple as that. Look at all the bread shoved down in there. But push it out, prod it in, and look at that. Popped right out. And you can tell it had been in there for a skinny minute. So this is pretty awesome. Now the bread should just fall out for the most part, and I'll be able to clean out that. I'll probably use some brake cleaner, and then probably grease it back up with something because you don't want to leave bare aluminum stripped of all, well, grease and everything. So yeah, that actually worked out really well. So cool, that's all done. Easy enough. All right, guys, so went ahead and installed the new pilot bearing. It's not as quite as easy to get in as it is to get out, to be 100% honest. Yeah, I thought this would be a little bit easier to get in than it was, but it is what it is. Just beat it in, and yeah. So next up is installing the clutch, which I don't have the shim kit yet, which kind of makes this a little frustrating. I have my clutch, but there's an actual physical shim kit that I need to get from Toyota that I do not have yet. So I'll talk on that here once I get out from underneath this damn car.
Well, as you guys saw, it wasn't that hard to actually install the pilot bearing and remove the old one. Was pretty easy. That might be considered a ghetto fabulous way of doing it, but if it works, guys. So as you saw, guys, worked pretty flawlessly. So on next to the boost controller. I've talked about this multiple times now. It's on my list of things to do, and I keep procrastinating. So that's up next here for me. I have my lines here that I used actually before. They're push lock fittings from Vibrant. They already have thread tape on them too, so I already got most of the stuff handled. I just need to plumb it up. I need to make a little diagram because to be honest, I kind of forget how I need to run them, and they need to run a certain way for the boost controller to work. And I'm kind of pulling a blank right now, so I need to check that real quick, and then maybe I'll show you guys exactly how it needs to be plumbed. Got to get my handy dandy light real quick. So guys, I went ahead, I finished plumbing the boost controller. I try to keep it as tight as possible to this shock tower. I might have to get some type of sleeve because if you guys can see that one line's way too close to this exhaust housing here. It's gonna melt, period. I know it's gonna melt. There's too much heat there for that cheap plastic tubing for these push lock fittings. I know that shit's gonna melt and cause me nothing but headaches, so I need to go get some type of heat sleeve to fit over that. So I'm pretty sure DEI makes something I can use. I just have to find something I can put over it. It should withstand that heat then. Alright guys, thank you very much as usual. I think that's going to be it for this one. You got to see how I remove a pilot bearing, how to reinstall one. You saw I got my nice new Clutchmaster clutch in this episode. I didn't get to upload last night. I might not even, this is Saturday, I might even be able to upload today. Having my wife's birthday party today, which I got to be quiet because she's in the next room. So yeah, pretty excited. It's going to be a fun day for me, but I'm hoping to get everything in by at least next weekend. I'm still waiting on the shim kit, and I know the last piece of the puzzle is going to be the drive line, the drive shaft itself. I know it's a custom piece, one-off kind of thing, steel drive shaft. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to wait for. It sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, thank you guys as usual. Follow my Facebook page at Pure Function Engineering, or go check out my Instagram at purefunction_. I still have t-shirts for sale, $25 sold anywhere in the lower 48. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.